Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. In today's video I'm gonna start showing you the dupes I have of the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette, which I have picked up quite a long time ago. A couple of months ago Beauty Bay had a really good deal. You could pick up this palette for £33 instead of 48, so I couldn't miss out the chance of having this palette for such a good price point. And oh my god, this palette is so beautiful to look at. Even just starting with the outer packaging, it's this light blue coffin, and when you open it up you get this, oh my god, gorgeous colors. I love blue and I love these shades of blue, and I absolutely adore this turquoise and the shiny version of the turquoise. Aesthetically, this is my favorite palette from Jeffree, and I'm very happy that someone did a blue eyeshadow palette. The first dupe I have for the palette is the Makeup Revolution Reloaded Deep Dive palette. As you guys know, the Reloaded range is the cheapest an eyeshadow palette can get. They retail for £4, sometimes £5, but 99% of them are £4, including this one, and they are amazing quality. They basically did a dupe of all of Anastasia's palettes, and they started duping Jeffree's eyeshadow palettes as well in this range, so I'm really happy about that. So this palette, as you can see, has 15 shades in it instead of the 18 the Jeffree Star palette has, and it doesn't have any of the pink shades, any of the nude shades. It technically just boiled it down to the green, turquoise and the blue shades, and it had one white and one gold. It also added a green and a shiny green shade, which are not in the original palette. I am not exactly sure why they did it, probably to avoid lawsuit or something like that, but other than that the blue shades are very similar to the ones in the Blue Blood palette. So I think it's 100% that their intention was to create a dupe for this palette, but they probably didn't want to do it as obviously as they did before. So this palette, like I said, retails for £4, is made in China. It has 12 months shelf life, it's cruelty free, and it has 1.1 grams of product in each pan. With 15 pans, that means 16.5 grams of product, which is quite good for £4. The Blue Blood palette, as we all know, is made in the USA, actually quite near to Los Angeles. It also has 12 months shelf life, and it's also cruelty free, and it contains 18 times 1.5 grams of product, which if you add it up is 27 grams of eyeshadow, which is amazing. Like I said, I absolutely adore the aesthetics of the Blue Blood palette. I have to say though that the Deep Dive palette is a much better price point. It is actually 12 times cheaper than the original, so you definitely cannot ignore how much cheaper it is. And if you look at my eyes and I tell you that one of them was created using this palette, I don't think you could tell. So without further ado, I want to jump right into creating this eye makeup look and showing you which shades I used and what I think about the shades I used, and then I will be back and I will tell you my opinion of both palettes. Okay, so usual thing, the original palette is going to be on this side of the face, and the dupe palette is going to be on this side of the face. I'm gonna start with adding some shadow shields. Now obviously the type of looks I can create using this palette is really limited because they basically took out anything that's not blue. The only thing they left in is a gold one and a white one, and this green and this green are not available in the original palette. They have more of like a turquoise one similar to this and this, but not the straight on apple green shades. So we are going to work with the blue ones and with this gold one. I have already primed my eyes, so we are good to go. I would personally love to take something like this, but I cannot because we don't have that in the other palette. So instead I'm gonna go in straight with a really dark shade and start building up the color that's gonna go to the crease. So the shade I'm taking is gonna be Cremated, which obviously the palette is upside down. This is the second to last shade in the palette. So I take some of that really dark color and I basically just start building it up. Obviously, once I applied the shade, I'm gonna take a blending brush and we're gonna really nicely blend it out. I just want to be able to control better with this little pencil brush how much product I apply, because I don't want to overload the eye with this color. This is honestly going to be just the background to the gold shade, because technically the whole lid is gonna be covered in gold, and after that we're gonna go in with a nice lighter blue shade under the eye. So this look is going to be really quick and simple, but I think there's nothing wrong with quick and simple looks as long as they look nice. At the end of the day, you shouldn't have to spend half of your life doing your makeup, so I think we all appreciate a good, nice, quick makeup. Now I'm gonna take a blending brush that doesn't have any product on it, and I'm gonna really quickly just blend this out. The thing I love about these Jeffree Star matte eyeshadows is that they are so long lasting, and when you blend them they definitely don't just blend away. Look at that, it's gorgeous. I'm gonna take a bit more because we want to build up the shade a bit more than this, and just blend it out again. Okay, I think that's absolutely perfect. Now let's see what we can do on the other side. So on the other side, we're gonna be taking the first shade from the second row, and this is pretty much the same color, except it has a lot of fallout, unfortunately. Honestly, I hardly even touched it to the skin yet and I have fallout everywhere. Look at that. I'm gonna blend this out a little bit to see how much more we need, because obviously these drugstore palettes tend to blend away very easily, although this one seems quite fine actually. Apart of falling everywhere, it doesn't really seem to blend away too easily, so that's good. Oh, and you can actually build up that color quite nicely. Okay, I'm happy with this palette so far. I honestly feel like Makeup Revolution does better and better eyeshadow palettes as time goes on. Look at that, you cannot tell how much cheaper this palette is. It's a £4 palette. That is crazy. Alright, well, like I said, it's gonna be a super quick look. So I'm gonna go off camera now and I'm gonna apply concealer to create a cut crease look, and then we're gonna darken up the outer and the inner corner a little bit. But yeah, so first we're gonna go on with concealer and then the golden shade. So I'm gonna go off camera now and I'm gonna prepare the cut crease. Okay, so like I said, now that the cut crease is done, we're gonna apply the gold shade all over it, and then we are going to darken up the outer and the inner corner to give some depth to this look. So first I'm going to take the shade Crystal Flash from the Jeffree Star palette and just apply it all over the lid. This is actually a quite light champagne gold shade, and I'm a little bit worried that the one in the Makeup Revolution palette is going to be darker than this, but we shall see. So now I'm going to go in with the gold shade from the Revolution palette. Obviously this one doesn't have a name. Yeah, okay, so this one is much more of a yellow gold shade, whilst the one in the Jeffree palette is definitely a lot more of a pinky gold shade. I also feel like the Revolution one looks a lot shinier right now. I'm gonna try to go back and build up the Jeffree side a bit more. And then I'm taking some more of Deceased, the shade that we used on the crease previously, and I'm basically just adding back some of it and kind of like defining that line again. Okay, let's remove this now because I always feel like I can't see properly what's going on when I have the shadow shield on. Now, using the pencil brush, I'm going to take some of the shade Power. This is a bit lighter than Cremated. I add it to my inner and outer corner, but I mainly blend it out, so it should just be a hint of color. Definitely not a lot. Now we are going to do the same thing on this side, and we're gonna be using this shade from the palette. I have a feeling that I'm gonna have eyeshadow all over my face. Okay, so now I'm gonna go off camera again. I'm gonna clean up a little bit under my eyes because I did have a lot of fallout, so I wanna add some concealer there again. And I'm gonna do my eyeliner and my mascara, and then I'm gonna be back to apply the shade under my eyes. Okay, so before we move any further with this look, I actually decided that I want the gold shade on the lid to pop a bit more. So I've got the usual two products here to achieve that, the Razor Sharp Liner and the Heavy Metal Glitter Liner, both in a beautiful gold shade. In the Razor Sharp Liner it's called Space Cowboy, and in the Heavy Metal Glitter Liner it's called Starfire. So first I'm gonna take Space Cowboy and basically just draw a line with it. I know I said I wanted to do something very quick and easy, but honestly, I just feel like the gold shade is not really good in either of the palette. At least it's not really good for what I need it for, because obviously I wanted the gold shade to pop, and that's just not happening. So instead I'm going to get some help from Urban Decay. I absolutely love the combination of the Razor Sharp Liner and the Heavy Metal Glitter Liners. I feel like you can honestly transform any makeup look using these two. I know that now you cannot see basically any of the original color, but I also know that now the gold is popping. Okay, so last shade under the eye. I think we need to find the original one of this blue, because this blue is gonna look gorgeous with this makeup look. So I'm gonna take this one, apply it on the dupe side. Sorry, I know I normally apply the original side first, but I mean, I know already that this is the only color that's going to work for what we're trying to do here. Yeah, this blue is gorgeous. From the Jeffree Star palette, it's going to be the shade Diseased. I actually think that Diseased is gonna be slightly lighter. This is a lighter, more beautiful shade of blue. Oh, I love this one. Unfortunately, there's nothing like that in this palette. Maybe I'm going to try to add a bit of this on top of that. See if that's gonna make it pop more. Oh yeah, it definitely looks more similar, the mixture of the two of these looks a lot more similar to the other side. And now to finish that all off, I'm going to take this blue eyeliner pencil and I'm going to cover up my waterline with it. Okay, so once again, this is the completed look. Nothing special, honestly, especially on the camera. I feel like it looks really like nothing. In real life, the heavy metal glitter liner and the under eye blue shade actually made it quite stunning. I just wanted to do something different. I didn't want to repeat the same blue looks I did before. And to be honest, with the deep dive palette, your options are quite limited, so this is the best I could come up with at this point. Now, about this palette is £4, you guys, and for the price being, yes, you don't get all of the shades that you would in the Blue Blood palette, but I mean, the shades are amazing, pigmented, blendable, buildable, which is a huge thing for any dupe palette, especially for £4. I feel like Makeup Revolution is really stepping up their game. They really figured out how to do eyeshadow, and I mean, I know how proud Jeffree Star is of his eyeshadows, but honestly, I feel like the £4 version is just as good. Again, you don't get every single shade. You do get almost all of the shades in the palette I'm gonna be reviewing after this though, which is also a Makeup Revolution palette. So it's not like it's impossible, but I feel like they might have had problems in the past for copying his Blood Sugar palette, like basically in every single eyeshadow palette line they had one for this price point. They had one in a newer series they started, and they also had one in the I Heart Makeup version. So they had so many different versions of the Blood Sugar palette that maybe he got pissed off with them, and that's why they are now scared to completely copy his eyeshadow palette, because technically with 3 shades missing you could fit everything in here, and I feel like they didn't try. They took out other shades as well. They added these green shades, like I said, which are not in the original, and I think that was intentional because they didn't want to be sued for copying his eyeshadow palette. Nevertheless, it's an amazing palette, and I think if you cannot afford to get the Jeffree Star one, definitely either try this one or the one I'm gonna show you next, which is a £10 version. So it's still not going to break the bank. It's still about 5 times cheaper than the original, and I actually feel like you basically get the same quality for your money. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I would love to have you here. Hit the ring button if you haven't already, so you're not gonna miss out any future uploads. Check out my previous videos because I have a tons of dupe reviews just like this. And until next time, take care of yourself. I will see you very soon.